What is up, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another first ride here in the beautiful region of Rushnov, and today we have the TRIUMPH Speed 400 on a first ride, a half an hour first ride. This is the brand new 400 series from TRIUMPH, and because I'm only on surface roads, on tarmac roads, I took the Speed 400, not the Adventure 400. The Scrambler 400 or whatever it's called. I wanted to see the Speed 400, like the road version, how it is on these roads. It's a 400cc liquid cooled single cylinder engine putting out about 40 horsepower and about 37.5 newton meters of torque. We got a single front brake disc, we got a single rear brake disc. The front one is by Bre, which is a subsidiary of Brembo, so it should have decent brakes, although it's just a single disc, so it's gonna feel like a single disc. It's a beautiful motorcycle. The fit and finish on it is absolutely superb. We got this beautiful bar end mirrors that work decently well. We've got this analog combined with a digital gauge. This shows you all the information like your tachometer, like your gear, fuel range and everything. And this is your classic style speedometer, and it looks really beautiful as you ride it. Otherwise, it's a simple motorcycle. It's just a simple naked bike. It does have some crash protection on the side. I don't know if that's standard or an optional extra, but you see a lot of details like the old school styling. Even though this is a fairly modern frame, it's still not completely modern. Like the engine, I don't think it's a stress member, but in a different way, because you still have some frame tubes coming down here. And yeah, it's the TR series 400cc, a new series of engine from TRIUMPH, and I really want to see how it rides. But we're not gonna go up in the mountains because somebody wrecked an Indian and there's some oil in a corner. We're gonna go down the hill. And we're gonna go a little bit in the city of Rushnov, because this bike is supposed to be like an awesome... Sorry about that. I just saw a bike coming really quick and I had to get up to speed so I wouldn't impede. And this gives us a chance to try out the TRIUMPH's power, and it is pokey. At 40 horsepower it might not seem like a lot, but the bike is light. I think it's around 200 kilograms or maybe just a little bit under, but it feels goddamn light. And the engine is very smooth for a single cylinder. There are a couple of vibrations, but not much. Just a tad bit of buzziness, so you know it's there, but it's not much. It's very rev happy. Honestly, it's a beautiful engine. It is pretty torquey for a 400cc single. It is pretty torquey. And as you can see, it can get up to some decent speeds, although the Multistrada is leaving me for dust. But anyway, let's wind it back, because this is a motorcycle to be ridden at, I don't know, 70%. So we're gonna dial it down a little bit and relax on it and ride it a little bit more gently. The first thing you notice getting on it is just how light it feels. I mean, it's a proper lightweight motorcycle. It's very unintimidating. The mirrors work well and they do not vibrate. That's what I like to see, that I can clearly see behind me at any RPM. The switch gear is a little bit... looks a little bit cheap, looks a little bit Indian, Chinese, kind of that style of motorcycles. And the finish on the handlebar is a little bit what you would expect from an Asian style motorcycle, an Asian market motorcycle. But you do have the TRIUMPH logo here, and you do have the dashes very nicely designed and quite beautiful for this style of motorcycle. Standard Bogo standard key. And riding it through these flowing corners, you can really get a rhythm with it and have some proper fun with it. It's so light and it's so nimble, it's so unintimidating. The brakes are... oh, the front brake is good. I like it. The rear brake? The rear brake is also good. We do have ABS, front and rear ABS. Let's slow it down because this is the event location and people are coming out and going in. And now we can open up the taps again, get it up to speed, into 6th gear. It's a very civilized motorcycle. That's the feeling I'm getting from it. You can hoon around on it, but yeah, it kind of prefers a more civilized style of ride. The engine, it goes up to 10,000 RPM, so the red line is at 12,000, but on the dash the red line is at 12,000, but at 10,000 it hits the rev limiter, so as you can see, you cannot give it full beans. Anyway, but riding it at about between 4 and 6,000 RPM, that's where this engine is happy. It's very torquey down low. Even in 5th gear you can pick up the pace very quickly. It's quite a torquey motor. You can have a lot of fun with it and still be at a reasonable speed. And that's the beauty of small cylinder motorcycles. You can hoon around on them and still be at some decent speeds. I mean, you can chuck them into a corner, down a gear, chuck into the second corner, let's go, and then open up the tabs. And you can have fun. You can roll through the gears and still be at decently low speeds where you're not gonna lose your license, you're not gonna go to jail, and you're not gonna get into any serious trouble. You can get into trouble with any motorcycle, but you have to be really stupid to get into trouble with one of these. You really have to be out looking for trouble. The gear shift is very nice and positive. It encourages you to use the clutch and change gears. The clutch is very light, I mean super light clutch. You can have, which should make it an absolute breeze to ride in the city. Granted, these bikes, this one and its Scrambler brother, were made for the Asian market, were made for India, I think. I think they are made in India. And with the traffic they got over there, you need a bike that's very easy to control in the city. You need a bike that's easy to control and start traffic. And this one is good at it. It's actually properly good at it. And yep, brakes are confidence inspiring. Okay, brakes are good and confidence inspiring. It's up 4th gear, 60 kilometers an hour. The bike has plenty of go at 4,000 RPM. That's the sweet spot between 4 and 6,000 RPM. Now I know these bikes are not all that expensive, and honestly this is a very comfortable motorcycle, so you can turn this thing into a real proper machine, small bore touring machine if you want to. You can have a lot of fun with it and a lot of adventures with it. Let's take it through the village of Râșnov. I don't know where exactly I'm going, but let's take it on roads less traveled. All right, yielding, and through here, as you can see, it's an absolute breeze to navigate village streets. It's so easy to do. And at these speeds the engine feels properly powerful. I mean, the bike feels light and very maneuverable. We're only doing like 50 kilometers an hour. That's the speed limit, but honestly on bikes like this I always find that you're doing the speed limit and it feels fast enough. It doesn't feel too slow, it feels fast enough. That's the interesting part about riding bikes like this. They feel fast enough. Even now through the village, I'm going through the gears, hitting the gas, and we're doing 80 kilometers an hour, and now we're coming back down. It's a fun machine. Well, there we go. Like I said, brakes are nice and positive. The sound is awesome. I'm really liking the sound. It's got that little single cylinder tractory sound that I love. It feels like an old school engine. It sounds like an old school engine, but it's a modern engine. It's a modern liquid cooled single cylinder. And riding it now through the village, I mean, it feels at home at these kinds of speed, and this is what it was designed to do. Right around this place. places like this, villages, small country roads. This is what it was designed to do, and that makes it also good for riding around city streets and stuff, and commuting to work and everything. How's the balance? Balance is good on the balance. Feet up. Let's make a left-hand turn. Thank you. And yeah. The bike has some poke around town, and it has ABS, it has traction control, you have all the safety gubbins to keep you out of trouble. I like it. It's a nice bike. Depends if you have the budget for it. Of course, there are cheaper options and bikes that are maybe not as good, but a considerably amount cheaper. But as it sits, I really enjoy. I'm really enjoying it, and I really like it. Well, bit of slow traffic. Yeah, this is a nice little motorcycle. And the engine is so full of character and makes all the right noises and has power exactly where you want it. And it has torque for days, considering it's just a 400cc single. It has torque for days. I mean, 37 newton-meters of torque. That is plenty of torque for such a light motorcycle. Fun bike. Very fun bike from Triumph, and a very good entry point into the world of motorcycling, maybe for somebody who's just getting into motorcycling. I mean, this is a bike that allows you to do just about anything you want and still have a very fuel efficient motorcycle, very easy to ride, very unintimidating. That's the beauty of small light bikes. They're just so fun. You feel like you can just jump on it and ride it and go anywhere you want and do whatever you want with it, and see all kinds of stuff, and or get the job done, get yourself to work, get yourself to the shops. Although you don't have luggage, I don't have any luggage mounted on this one. I'm pretty sure you can find a way to mount some kind of luggage, like some side panning, like some side cases, some soft side cases, soft bags, sorry, and get a bit of luggage going, get a little bit of practicality going. That would be absolutely awesome with a bike like this. The gearbox is nicely staged. I mean, the gears, I'm currently in 6th gear doing 80 kilometers an hour. It's at 4,000 RPM. It's definitely not a highway cruiser. I mean, at 100, it does start, it's not buzzy, but you kind of start feeling like it's going to become buzzy. And probably any higher, it is gonna be buzzy. I'm gonna try to get it up to a little bit higher speed and see how it buzzes at 6, 7, 8,000 RPM at 110, 120 kilometers an hour. But anything up to 100 is perfectly fine. It's perfectly comfortable. The gearbox is nice and slick. Every time I go through the gears, it's just awesome. And how easy it is to find neutral. Man, super easy. Super easy. You know, I like my big, heavy touring bikes, but there's always something so beautiful about a small little motorcycle like this. And we got a truck. Yep, he's gonna be in front of us. I'm gonna try to pass him as quickly as possible. There's a bit of straight road here, and I'll see if I can execute a pass, because I don't want to be stuck behind him. All right. There we go. You see, it has enough power, and at 100 kilometers an hour it's perfectly smooth. I am getting a bit of heat from the left hand side of the engine. Now that it's properly up to temperature, probably the fans have started and the heat is actually coming from the radiator, but it does, I do feel a bit of heat. And I'm surprised for a little 400cc that is making so much heat. I do have jeans on and I'm still feeling the heat even through my jeans. So yeah, that's a bit surprising. Okay, let's get another overtake in, drop down a gear, open up the tabs, up a gear, You know, it's not buzzy. It will do 100, 110. It's not buzzy. Let's get another overtake in and see how it is at some higher speeds. We're currently in 6th gear at 100. Let's open up the tabs. 110. It's perfectly comfortable. 120, I am feeling a bit of buzziness coming in, but it's nothing uncomfortable. 130, yeah, at 130 it will start to buzz. But between 100 and 120, it's fine. So you can cruise at 110, 115 kilometers an hour just fine and be perfectly comfortable. It's a very good package. That's some decent speed that can be very comfortable. And even now in the twisties, going back up to the event, it's so easy to chuck it around the bends. It's so controllable, it's so docile, it's so unintimidating. You feel like the bike works with you, down the gears, up the gears. It just works with you beautifully. Oh, Triumph. You can feel Triumph is a world-class bike manufacturer. Even in their cheaper offerings, in their budget bikes, you can feel their prowess. This is a good motorcycle. This is a very good motorcycle. You can have some fun with this thing in the twisties. And onto the bumpy bridge. Let's see the suspension. High-speed bumpy bridge. Very good. Very good. Completely in control. Didn't unsettle the bike. Very good on the suspension side. It's a great bike. Anyway guys, I'm gonna take it back and hope you guys enjoyed this first look at the Triumph Speed 400, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care out there everyone and ride safe. Bye.